We are going to have this story. It is long, but you have to give it some time. The title is Hiisa, the Resilient Boy. In the village of Bushama lived a boy named Hiisa. Throughout the village, his peers knew him simply as the lame boy, a cruel moniker that had become his everyday title. In character, Hiisa was exceptionally disciplined and amiable child, recognized for his exemplary behavior by all his teachers at school. Regrettably, Hisa's home life was deeply fractured. He lived with his father, a man whose reckless nature and staunch alcoholism made their household an environment of constant instability. It was his father's increasingly erratic actions that forced Hisa's mother to seek employment abroad, where she sadly perished due to the incessant stress from her employers. Hiisa was thus compelled to live a life of self-reliance. He would work in people's gardens, performing strenuous labor to earn meager wages, simply for his sustenance. Despite his physical infirmity, having only one functional leg and his arduous life, he faced relentless derisions from the other village children. Lame boy, one leg. Such vituperative words left him feeling utterly isolated and heartbroken. At a mere 10 years of age, this boy began to suffer from profound emotional distress. He felt utterly alienated from his own home, primarily because his father's evening return was invariably followed by severe and unjustified beatings. One day, Helen, Hisa's primary school teacher, grew concerned and came searching for the boy, who had been conspicuously absent from school for nearly 3 weeks. Upon reaching the boy's house, she was immediately confronted by a torrent of abuse and obscenities from his father. The entire premises were a profound dismay. The house and yard were neglected, and the situation was absolute travesty. No wonder the boy gets sick almost every month, she thought with a sigh. When the teacher inquired about his son, the father casually asserted that the boy had simply moved out to find a better place. This callous response left the teacher utterly dumbfounded. She immediately hurried to the nearby village center, asking people about the boy. But everyone claimed they hadn't seen him. This news left the dedicated teacher deeply saddened. Where had the boy gone? The question was a persistent worrying refrain in her mind. As dusk began to settle, Teacher Helen reluctantly abandoned her search. Upon reaching her own home, she stepped onto her veranda and her foot nudged something soft in the dark. She hastily retrieved her phone from her bag and flashed the light on the object. It was Hiisa, the lame boy, curled up and asleep. Tears immediately welled in Helen's eyes. She gently woke him up, brought him inside, instructed him to bathe, and then cooked and served him a warm meal. Afterward, She gently asked him why he had fled his home. The boy's poignant story unfolded, detailing his father's incessant beatings and utter irresponsibility. He spoke of the way his friends mercilessly mocked his lameness. He also confessed that he couldn't return to school because his father, whom he described as a failure even in providing basic food, had given him nothing for his education. Hiisa tearfully concluded that his only remaining hope lay with Madame Helen. His class teacher, Madame Helen, deeply moved by the boy's ordeal, subsequently met with the school committee and recounted Hisa's compelling story. The committee unanimously decided to award the boy a full bursary covering his education from primary 4 all the way through primary 7 and from senior 1 to 6. Furthermore, they initiated a village-wide conversation with the other children about the serious repercussions of mocking people with disabilities. Hisa's father was reported to the police for child neglect and sent for a 2-year imprisonment sentence. During time, he underwent a significant transformation and emerged a repentant and responsible man. This intervention was a pivotal and much needed move for the vulnerable young boy. He is currently still pursuing his education, having successfully completed Senior 4 the previous year. Thank you for watching.